people have to stand up because there was an air alarm and go to the bomb shelters. 8 years ago, so it means I was like 23 or 20 something. Find myself in a new reality, as you can imagine. I mean, a lot of filmmakers, producers, actors, directors who are now fighting because they changed their profession and they became soldiers. War started 8 years ago, so it means I was like 23 or 20 something. And as I used to say, that all my youth passed in a war. And I used to live in Kharkiv. It's a city in the east of Ukraine, and then I moved to Kyiv. It's a big challenge for people living in Ukraine during all these years and still keeping doing culture and working for culture. I mean, a lot of filmmakers, producers, actors, directors who are now fighting because they changed their profession and they became soldiers. Currently I'm living in Warsaw and I'm based in Poland after the invasion started, and I work in one of the biggest theaters in Poland. It is called Powszechny Theater, and also do some movies and TV series, and trying to find myself in a new reality, as you can imagine. This is an anti-war film, especially this year that the world is swallowed by wars, war conflict everywhere, on every continent. It shows other perspective on war, it shows a women perspective. I think a month ago, and it's interesting that because you know in Ukraine is now massively bombed and missiled by Russians, you know that, and during the screenings people have to stand up because there was an air alarm and go to the bomb shelters, and they cannot see the movie to the very end sometimes because of air alarm and of Russian missiles and bombs that were flying to Ukraine. But actually we managed to make a premiere in Ukraine in Kyiv and to show the movie all over Ukraine as far as it was possible in questions of safety of people, because safety is the most important thing right now. This film also was to speak about it loudly in an international audience, but not only about war in Ukraine. It also tells the story about MH17, about this tragedy when Russians just missiled airplane, as you remember, and innocent citizens of Europe were killed. And 8 years, it also happened in 2014. 8 years ago, and 8 years ago nobody paid attention to this crime, and the criminals were not punished, though they killed like 300 of innocent European citizens. This film is very important because it pulls together the context, not only a Ukrainian context but also European, showing that we all live on the same planet and we all should think about our safety right now. The film tells you the story about 2014, the beginning of war, and that time people feel really confused because they don't know what is going on. They're not prepared for this kind of conflict or whatever it is. Only later we would understood that it was definitely a war when some country crosses the border of another country, but you will see this family which is stuck in a situation when they really don't know what to do and they have really no choice, and the only choice is to survive. It was quite a big challenge to play a pregnant woman because I have never gave a birth and I have never been pregnant. So I was training a lot. I was visiting workshops for pregnant women, and I was joking at that time that I knew more than real pregnant women know, because they don't have time usually to visit all these workshops, to read books, to watch YouTube stories. And I felt very much confident on the set because Marina Ergorbach, the director, she is a mom of 2 beautiful children, and she was not only my director, she was also my consultant, so she was helping me. And when she said me, yes, it looks exactly like pregnant women do that, I hope that Indian students who are studying in Ukraine or were studying in Ukraine are now safe, and that they managed to go out if it was possible with the beginning of war when Russians started this unbelievable full-scale invasion. I hope they are safe and they met their families or probably evacuated to more safe countries. Actually, as I said before, I really thankful for having me here because it's my first time in India, and it's my first time when I have some connection to Indian culture and Indian everyday life, and of course Indian, one of the biggest film festivals. But it's my second day here and I didn't manage to go a lot around. But actually, what should I say? I enjoy people here. I enjoy community you created with this festival because I feel people like really enjoy the festival, like a lot of crowds of people. So I think it's very important, and I like the climate. But like locals tell me that it's not the truth that they don't like it, but I like it's very warm and humid here, and I enjoy it somehow.